What's up, everybody? How's it going out there? So, in this one, I'm just going to be talking about rambling on in your own car. I mean, in Northern Virginia, it's basically a way of life. You gotta, just drive everywhere you want to go. Like, you go into a friend's house next door, you gotta just drive over there because you can't walk anywhere in Northern Virginia, which is dumb, but that's how life is. And, pretty much any trip is going to be like a 15-minute trip. It doesn't matter, like, if you're going across the street or if you're going across town. Well, if you're going across town, it's going to be like an hour. But if you're going across the street to your friend's house, to your cousin's house, or whatever, it's going to be like 15 minutes in a car. So you basically always have like a little bit of downtime. So it's a good way to get some thoughts down, to think for yourself. Like, I personally, I don't usually use driving in a car to suss out thoughts. I usually do that on my bicycles, but if you don't ride bicycles, then you have a car to do that in. I mean, if you live in Nova, you basically have a car. There's no way around that. I mean, I'm going to my friend's house now to try to make the guitar, with a vague idea of how I want to make it, but he lives 10 miles away, which is 15 minutes by car. I'm taking a shot up Route 28 here, this highway, and 15 minutes. 15 minutes to myself, just cruising away. Thankfully, for whatever reason, the traffic is fairly light. Looks fairly light today. I mean, I haven't gotten to the toll road yet. Usually traffic backs up a little bit around the toll road, but for whatever reason, it looks very light. Like I-66, which I would take if I were going to DC, which I would never do because DC is a freaking pain in the ass to drive around. So I'd try to avoid that city as much as I can. Even though, people from out of state are always like, hey, let's go to DC, I'm in town, let's go to DC, let's go see the monuments, let's go see the museums. Like, people who live there, they don't do that shit. They don't do any of that stuff because, it's there, it's old hat. I live 30 minutes outside of DC, and I've been to the museums like twice. Okay, that's not true, because I've been living here forever, and like my cousins never lived around here. So whenever they would visit, they would always say, let's go to the museum. So I've been there maybe like a dozen times. Air and Space Museum is always my favorite. And actually, speaking of Air and Space, since I live right off of Route 28, right by Dulles Airport, the Air and Space Museum extension, the Udvar Hazy Center, is out here, and they have some really cool stuff in there. They have an SR-71, a shuttle. They have the X-15 out here, I think. The rocket plane that helped with the development of the space program. That's a lot of cool stuff out there. And again, since I live here, I never go there, even though it's like 5 minutes. Okay, so I was kidding earlier. I'm not kidding, but there are variations to the 15 minutes thing. So I live 5 minutes from the Udvar Hazy Center. And that's another thing about Nova. Like, Nova, you don't measure distance in terms of actual distance. You measure it in terms of time. Like I said, I live 30 minutes outside of DC. How long is that? That's like maybe 20 miles or so. Nice. It's maybe like 20 miles or so. And we don't measure things in terms of miles. We say, I live 15 minutes away from my friend's house. I live 30 minutes outside of DC. I live 10 minutes away from Dulles Airport. We measure things in terms of time. brother lives down in Virginia Beach. That's a 3.5 hour drive. And it's funny, my shooting mentor, he likes to make fun of that whole mentality. He was born in like the 50s or so. Like, he could be my dad, but he was born in the 50s, and he makes fun of that whole, like, measuring things in terms of time instead of in terms of distance. He's like, so you say, like, this is going to be a 30 minute trip. So you're saying you just get in your car and just sit there for 30 minutes. You don't even have to turn the engine on. Just, sit there for 30 minutes. And 30 minutes later, you'll be there? I'd be like, yeah, exactly. And that's how we do it here. But so, like, anyway, so I'm driving up to my friend's house. It's 15 minutes out, 15 minutes away. Got some downtime, so I figured, I might get some thoughts down, recording, just maybe not rambling so much. I mean, I suppose you do kind of have to have at least some sort of train of thought or some sort of idea about what you're talking about. Otherwise, you're just going to keep rambling, and it'll really have no topic for the video, for the, for whatever your vlog entry. Yeah, so, like, I'm not really on YouTube. Like, I upload some stuff, but I really can't do, like, the social media. Like, I can't live on you. Like, Will and WillsEasyGuitar and Tara Bright and Leo, what's his name, from Sweden or Norway, that metal guy, and E-Rock, and all those guys, they live, like, they make a living at YouTube, and good for them. But that was like it's not quite in my plan. I don't know. I'm just gonna be a working stiff at working for a corporation until the day I graduate. That'll pay for all my other hobbies, like my bicycling and my marksmanship and my guitars and whatnot. And I'm fine with that. I don't. Props to the guys who can, like, make their own living. Selling things that people want. Well, I'm kind of doing that, I guess. I'm selling my services as a computer software engineer. Somebody wants it, my employer wants it, so they're paying me for it. It's the same sort of thing, but it's slightly different, more formal, I guess. So can't live on YouTube. I can't live on YouTube. Certainly spend a lot of hours watching YouTube. It's like become my replacement TV. I have this, like, years ago, I bought this humongous TV, put it in my living room, and I hardly ever use it. 55, it was like top of the line back then, like 55 inch, 120 hertz, 1080p, yada yada yada. Totally awesome. Pretty much unused by me. I mean, I'll watch it every now and then, but by and large, I'm like staring at my phone or my iPod or iPad. Sorry, I don't have an iPod. My iPad or my computer, my laptops or whatever, and just watching YouTube videos all the time. So I guess I could, like, technically unplug, call my service provider and say, hey, I don't need TV service, why am I paying for it? But the funny thing is that, well, not funny, but the annoying thing is that it's Verizon. I have Verizon Fios, and so I have the double bundle. I have, like, the TV, and I have the internet. That's for like $120. And you think, oh, if I cut out TV, that would cut it in half, right? Well, not with Verizon. Verizon says, oh, like that 120 is like a promotional deal. If you were just to go with TV alone or internet alone, it'd be like 80 or 90 bucks. I'm like, what the hell, you know? I mean, yeah, I get it. They run over the same medium, you know, the optical fibers, and they get converted to copper. You know, the last mile is copper or something like that to my house, but it's almost the same as not getting any of that service. You know, all they have to do, like, it's not like they had to run run the wiring, run the cabling, you know, run the piping from wherever they are all the way to my house. It was already there. All they have to do is just turn it on. Like, literally, they just, you know, twiddle some knobs and I have service. And they charged me 120 bucks. So it's like a freaking racket now that I think about it. What a pain in the ass. But that's conveniences of modern living. Pay for it. Just like being in Nova and you live in your car, and you know, I could get to my friend's house, you know, I could throw all this guitar stuff, throw everything in like a backpack, maybe a duffel bag, strap it all to my bicycle. I could ride up to my friend's house. It would only take me 30 minutes. It takes me about 30 minutes to go 10 miles. And you know, I'd save wear and tear on my car. My car needs oil. I need to change my car's oil. I'd save that. I'd save, you know, the gasoline, of course. Although this is, I don't know if you can tell from the video, but this is pretty much an econo box, so gasoline's not really that much of a concern for me. But I'd save that anyways. But, you know, because I want to be comfortable and I want to live in this area, I have a car, and therefore I'm paying for it. Just like I want to be comfortable, have fast internet and TV every now and then whenever I do watch it. I pay for it. $1,500 a year. Think about it. 120 times 12, that's 1440. Round it up for whatever, and it's basically $1,500 a year for internet and TV. Car payments the same, you know, like this is what, like $300 a month for 12 months. That's $3,600. And you add gasoline, you add a full tank of gas every week or so. That's $20 a week times 52 weeks. That's, call it 55 weeks just to be, you know, just to round it up, and that's $1,100 plus $3,600. You know, I'm paying like $5,000 to drive a car around just for the convenience of it. I'm paying $1,500 for internet and TV. You know, like if you like if you do the math, like it's kind of, and then like you figure out like your minimum required income to live in this area. This is not a cheap area to live in, for sure. And I think everybody knows that. But yeah, it's just more stuff to deal with. So anyways, I've made it to my friend's house finally, and I'm gonna cut this rambling short and see if I can't get some stuff done. All right, catch you later.